Live to New Jersey, where Sandy made landfall just hours ago.
Look at the flooding in New York City. Water rushing into the subway system, leaving lower Manhattan without power. And the construction site of the World Trade Center is underwater.
And this crane atop what will soon be New York's tallest residential building continues to sway in the wind hours after it snapped. Sandy is no longer a hurricane, although she still has winds near 80 miles an hour and has reportedly already claimed 10 lives along the East Coast.
The storm surge in some areas near New York City is above 13 feet. The rain continues to fall.
Storm Team 8 is tracking Sandy and how it'll impact our weather here in West Michigan. First, though, we want to take you to Jay Gray, who's in Cape May, New Jersey, for a look at the devastation along the coast.
Hurricane Sandy barreled into the Northeast Monday night, technically downgraded to a post-tropical system, but the storm still delivering a ferocious blow as it came ashore. By all accounts, Sandy is a monster storm. At its peak, extending 700 miles wide with hurricane-force winds stretching out 175 miles from the center. More than 50 million people could be affected. The storm has knocked out electricity across the region, downing trees and power lines, flooding low-lying areas, and wreaking havoc for everyone in its path. Many listened to the early warnings to evacuate. For those that chose to ride out the storm, an ominous warning from New Jersey Governor Chris Christie.
If you're still able to hear me, we need you to hunker down and get to the highest point possible in the dwelling that you're in. We will not be able to come and help you until daylight tomorrow.
The storm made landfall in southern New Jersey near Atlantic City, washing away a portion of the city's famed boardwalk. In New York, Sandy's winds took down a construction crane that is now dangling over lower Manhattan. While nearby at Battery Park, record water levels top the seawall. Low-lying areas of the city are now underwater. In some places, only the roofs of cars can be seen. Millions are also without power.
This is a once-in-a-long-time storm. The surge is very high. We expected it to be high. It's in fact slightly higher than what was forecasted.
Now, as the storm pushes inland, residents can only watch and wait for daybreak to see exactly what Sandy has left behind. Jay Gray, NBC News, Cape May, New Jersey.
Chief Meteorologist Bill Steffen here in the tracking center now, watching this storm as it came out. It's just hard to believe that it's not a hurricane anymore, but it's still packing a big punch.
Yeah, I know. It certainly has some very strong winds with it. Some places still getting wind gusts over 60 miles an hour on land areas. Take a look at the storm as it comes in right now, and you can see it really racing in. The track of the storm taking it right across southern New Jersey, and right now the center right here in Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania. Tremendous flow and push of water toward the shoreline. New York City at Battery Park, their strongest storm surge, beating the record from 1821, that far back. Many locations here with very strong wind gusts, and you can see the snow that's falling in the mountains of West Virginia, rain into the eastern part of Michigan. And if I put a quick track on that for you, we'll see if we can stop her right here for just a second. We bring that into the Grand Rapids area. By about daybreak, we'll start to see some of the light rain push eastward into the Grand Rapids area. Look at some of the wind gusts that we've seen. 124 miles an hour on top of Mount Washington, New Hampshire. You couldn't stand up. You get rolled along like a tumbleweed in the wind like that. New York City, 79 mile an hour wind gusts. Much of Manhattan is without power right now. 78 miles an hour there at Newark and 77 on the beach at Atlantic City. Here's what the winds do tomorrow. In the light blue, that's winds over 20 miles an hour. In the deep blue, that's winds over 50 miles an hour. You can see they're getting some 50 mile an hour wind gusts all the way to the edge of Lake Erie, but not so much here in Michigan. I think our winds tomorrow will be in the 20 to 30 mile an hour range, but we'll have more on that for you a little bit later on. Very windy and cold day coming up tomorrow.
Thank you. Sandy is bringing very strong wind gusts to West Michigan and kicking up large waves out on the big lake. This is video from St. Joseph earlier today, and right now the waves are continuing to grow. Forecasts show waves could reach 30 feet out in the middle of the lake tomorrow. Kyle Underwood is continuing to track the impact that Sandy will have on our weather. Kyle?
And it's amazing to look at that video, Sue, from earlier this afternoon. I think that the waves are going to be a lot bigger tomorrow, and the waves that we will see out on Lake Michigan being dwarfed by what has happened today on the Atlantic eastern seaboard. Very windy coming up for West Michigan tomorrow, and this is the outer effects of the remnants of Hurricane Sandy. We've got that precip that Bill just tracked for you moving through West Michigan. It will be very light, and it could be a light wintry mix. We're not expecting snow accumulations, but don't be surprised tomorrow morning if you see a snowflake or two mix in with very strong winds. Let's talk about these winds and define what strong is. Now, these are sustained winds. The gusts will be close to 50, if not exceeding 50 at the lakeshore. When the winds peak tomorrow, we're talking about sustained winds right around 30 miles an hour. That could do some minor roof damage, tip over a lot of garbage cans, and it's just going to feel uncomfortable out there. The wind chill forecast keeps the temperatures in the 20s for tomorrow morning in terms of what it feels like, and then through the day tomorrow, wind chills don't get above 35 or 36 degrees. So raw and cold for West Michigan tomorrow.
Kyle, thank you. Storm Team 8 will continue to track Sandy. Amanda Jarrett will be live along Lake Michigan showing us the waves on daybreak tomorrow starting at 4:30.